Did you know I was a European princess who became the Empress of Mexico? I am Charlotte Amelia of Belgium, Empress Consort alongside Maximilian I. My reign in the New World is one of the most intriguing episodes in history. But not everything was glory. Betrayal and tragedy marked my fate, leading my beloved Maximilian to a heartbreaking end. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video to discover more about my thrilling life. I was born in the Palace of Laeken near Brussels as the only daughter of King Leopold I of Belgium and Queen Louise Marie of Orléans. My childhood was surrounded by luxury and refined education, but also responsibilities and expectations. From a young age, I was fascinated by the arts and sciences, and I was fortunate to be educated by the best tutors in Europe. As I grew up, my beauty and position made me one of the most sought-after bachelorettes in European royalty, but it was Archduke Ferdinand Maximilian of Austria who stole my heart. Our love blossomed quickly, and in 1857, we married in a lavish ceremony in Brussels. Together, we shared a love for adventure and culture, and we dreamed of ruling an empire together. An interesting fact is that, despite being royalty, I always had a strong inclination for botany. This passion led me to collect various species of plants and flowers, some of which still bear my name in their scientific denomination. My romantic life with Maximilian, though passionate, was also full of challenges, especially when we embarked on the adventure of governing Mexico. One of my most significant achievements was becoming the Empress Consort of Mexico, a title I never imagined holding as a Princess of Belgium. Alongside my husband, Maximilian, we tried to establish an empire in Mexico, influenced by European powers, especially France. During our reign, we worked hard to modernize the country, drawing inspiration from European reforms. We implemented infrastructure projects, promoted the arts, and sought to establish a constitutional monarchy. Despite the political tensions and challenges, I always strived to understand and appreciate the rich Mexican culture. I loved visiting botanical gardens and collecting native plants. In fact, some species of Mexican orchids were taken to Europe under my auspices, and in gratitude, botanists named them in my honor. My relationship with Maximilian was more than just an arranged marriage. We shared a deep connection and love. Together, we dreamed of a prosperous and united Mexico under our leadership. However, not everything was easy. Our position in Mexico was constantly threatened by Republican forces and international political tensions. An interesting fact is that, despite being a monarch, I never set aside my personal passions. During my time in Mexico, I established a zoo in Chapultepec Castle, where I housed various exotic species, some of which were gifts from world leaders. I also promoted education in the arts, establishing scholarships and sponsoring Mexican artists and musicians. Although our stay in Mexico was brief and ended in tragedy, I always carried in my heart the desire to have achieved more for this beautiful country and its people. Although it wasn't me who met death in Mexican lands, fate took me down a path of deep sadness and despair. After the capture of my beloved Maximilian by the Republican forces, I did everything possible to save him, even traveling to Europe in search of support. However, my efforts were in vain. The news of his execution on the Hill of the Bells shattered my soul. The loss of Maximilian, added to the betrayal and abandonment of the European powers, plunged me into deep melancholy. My mental health began to deteriorate rapidly. I began to suffer from paranoia and hallucinations, believing I was poisoned or that someone wanted to harm me. Despite my family's attempts to help me, I secluded myself in the Bouchoux Castle in Belgium, where I spent the rest of my days away from the world, immersed in my memories and sorrows. An interesting fact is that, despite my mental state, I never stopped talking about Mexico. In my lucid moments, I fondly remembered the people, culture, and landscapes I loved so much. Although my life was marked by tragedy, I also left a legacy of passion, determination, and love for Mexico. My story is a testament to the sacrifices and challenges we face in the name of love and ambition. Despite the dark moments, I always sought the best for the country I came to consider my home. Thank you for joining me on this journey through my life. If you've been interested in my story and want to learn more about other important figures in history, don't forget to subscribe and keep watching more videos. See you next time.